Coming up on AgweekTV, the livestock industry is devastated by COVID-19 related meat processing slowdowns and plant closures. Cattle producers hit negatively by COVID-19 ask for assistance and an investigation of packer price fixing. North Dakota Farmers Union restaurants are feeling the COVID pain. And we'll talk to a farmer who's tracked seed data the last 5 years to help growers make better choices. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The collateral damage of the COVID-19 pandemic continues in the agricultural industry, and this week the meat processing business took a severe hit, with more plants closing or slowing due to illnesses among workers. Smithfield Foods suspended operations indefinitely at their pork facility in Sioux Falls, which slaughters 20,000 head daily, or 4 to 5% of the nation's processing capacity. South Dakota Pork Producers President Craig Anderson says it's a devastating blow for the region's pork producers.
I believe that there's about 550 independent producers that bring pigs into Sioux Falls. So that gets to be a pretty big number of people that it's going to affect.
Smithfield is shifting some hogs to their other plants, but won't be able to relocate all the pigs with the record numbers being produced nationally.
They do have plant in Denison, Iowa, Crete, Nebraska, Monmouth, Illinois, that do give them some movement, but the plant that is in Sioux Falls is the largest one.
He says this could put some producers out of business. They estimate losses of $2.5 million a day in Minnesota due to COVID. USDA had declared agriculture an essential industry during the pandemic, including meat processing, so this is a real disappointment. Meanwhile, Tyson's pork plant in Columbus Junction, Iowa has also been down. On the beef side, JBS closed its 5,400 head a day facility in Greeley, Colorado until April 24th, and National Beef's Tama, Iowa plant is closed until April 20th. The hog and cattle industry is now in a crisis due to COVID-19. The National Pork Producers Council reported the outbreak has created financial disaster for pork producers who face losses of $37 per hog, or almost $5 billion collectively for the rest of the year. They're asking for $1 billion in pork purchases by USDA for food bank programs, direct payments without eligibility restrictions, and a legislative fix to emergency loan programs they've been left out of. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association also released a study showing estimated losses of $13.6 billion to the cattle industry. Cow-calf producers will see the largest impact at $3.7 billion. The stocker backgrounder segment losses are at $2.5 billion, while the feeding sector hit was $3 billion. The data will be used to assist USDA in determining how to best calculate CARES Act relief. As far as assistance, USDA will spend up to $15.5 billion in the initial phase of its plan to support the nation's food supply chain hit by the outbreak. The initial phase will include direct payments along with other support measures. Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue says USDA wants to provide relief sooner rather than later, but will have to wait until this summer to distribute an additional $14 billion in aid. The USDA is also working to help dairy producers who were forced to discard milk. That product will be counted towards milk marketings for the Dairy Revenue Production Program, or as actual marketings for the Livestock Gross Margin for Dairy Program. That will allow those participating in the risk management programs not to lose coverage on any milk that can't be marketed. The cattle futures and cash market losses since COVID-19 have been massive, while box beef prices and consumer demand have been near record high, and so have packer profit margins. With this disconnect, there's a lot of producers that are crying foul. I talked to South Dakota Senator John Thune about why he's asking for an investigation.
It's the second time there have been questions about the integrity of the beef markets in this last year, starting, first time with the Tyson plant fire in Holcomb, Kansas, coming out of that, and now more recently with these huge disparities where packers are pocketing $600 an animal, and you got livestock producers who are just taking it short. So something's got to give here, and I think it's time for us to get some answers.
Cattle producers would suggest that they are being basically ripped off, I hate to use that term, by the packers. Some people have said that the system is broke. So what is it?
I mean, obviously there are laws on the books that prevent anti-competitive and practices that border on monopolistic, if you will. And I think, that's a Justice Department issue. But there are also things that Congress could do, and we'll take a look at what both USDA and DOJ can come up with. If we can get DOJ to launch an investigation, USDA indicated that they will.
But we've had these investigations before, Senator, and they don't come up with anything.
Right, and that has happened in the past. And the Packers obviously have a lot of very highly paid lawyers that I'm sure will make very good arguments about how these the prices that are being paid out there reflect supply and demand. And we haven't seen action on this issue in a long time. We now have 4 Packers that control 80% of the kill in this country, and that's you want to have more competition, not less.
So you bring up a good point about the amount of captive supply, and last week's a good example. The Packers pulled the majority of the cattle from their own supply. What do you do about that?
We need a live cattle market out there that allows cow-calf operators, feeders, independent feeders, also who are losing money in this market to, they need to survive. We need them out there, and we need a viable cattle market. So I'm hoping we can get some answers.
Up next on AgweekTV, a Minnesota farmer's tracking data to help farmers pick the best seed.
When planting season comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. This spring, keep your planters rolling with a user-friendly seed tender from Northstar Ag. We have seed tenders for every size operation from Meridian, Unverferth, and J&M. Northstar Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used inventory or give us a call.
Strong buildings and strong communities start with strong connections. Butler Builders understand this, the importance of every piece and every part. Every bolt, every beam, and every handshake. Each connection, a strong one. Built on quality and trust. Built on people.
For more information, go online to gatewaybuilding.com.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
2020 has started off where 2019 left off, with a lot of uncertainty and concern. Is your farming operation ready to take the volatility this year has to offer? Do you have a marketing plan in place to take advantage of opportunity? Are you finding it hard to separate the noise from the news? Talk to the professionals at Martinson Ag. We can help you make sound risk management decisions that will help your operation survive during these unusual times.
You might think you need a friend with a PhD to help you pick the right corn hybrids or soybean or wheat seed varieties. In this week's Ag Week cover story, Mikkel Pates talked to one farmer that's been collecting data for 5 years to help other growers make better choices.
It's all about data.
Garth Kruger knows the value of data. He's a farmer at Warren, Minnesota, and he operates Evaluation Group, which has analyzed data in medical and other fields since the 1990s when he was working on his master's and PhD. And then he started putting it to use on crop seeds.
I don't want anything biased. I want complete neutrality. Well, as much as possible, anyway.
He uses the information with statistical modeling to compare and evaluate soybean, corn, and wheat seed in the upper Midwest.
So it might not be this one, but maybe it's that one that does it. Try those and see which ones work on your farm.
Farmers pay Kruger $100 a year for yield and other data if they submit at least 3 seed tags and brand names to contribute for a database for all participants to view.
I want at least a minimum of 2 trial years, and I like to have at least 10 different locations.
So far, Kruger has compared 5,000 data points from 100 site locations with 600 brands of soybeans alone. That allows subscribers to quickly see which varieties perform best in areas of interest.
It's better than 84% of all other varieties. Look, if you find a variety that's sold by another company, it's $5 a unit cheaper, 1,000 units, you just save $5 grand. So it's worth a lot to the right person, but you have to be willing to put in a little bit of legwork to make it happen.
Kruger thinks that, in reality, the state should be keeping a centralized seed data repository, but in the meantime, he'll continue tracking the numbers.
The variety number should be in a centralized database available for everyone for transparency so that everyone who is interested can access it.
In Warren, Minnesota, this is Mikkel Pates for AgWeek.
You can read much more in the next AgWeek magazine or at AgweekTV.com. Around a half of the ethanol plants in the U.S. are shut down due to lower demand tied to the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, we're seeing the lowest gas demand in recorded history. But North Dakota's largest plant, Tharaldson Ethanol in Castleton, says it will continue. National ethanol production this week was at 570,000 barrels a day. Full capacity is 1.1 million barrels a day, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Tharaldson Ethanol COO Ryan Thorpe says typically this time of year they'd be running about 500,000 gallons a day. He says they've cut production slightly now. That makes their operation less efficient, so they might cut it further. Although ethanol prices are at record lows, Thorpe says they're still fully staffed and are continuing to honor all contracts.
The nice thing is we have the staying power. We'll be open again, and it's just a matter of getting through this, making sure everybody's safe and healthy, and coming out even stronger on the other side.
Tharaldson is the 6th largest ethanol plant in the country. This week, Valero also announced it's shutting down 8 of its plants and cutting production at 6 others. Still ahead on AgweekTV, with people stuck inside, interest in gardening is on the rise.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Make sure your farm equipment is season ready with an uptime inspection from your Titan Machinery service professionals. Titan Machinery's team of Case IH certified technicians has the knowledge and experience to find, correct, and prevent mechanical issues that could shut you down during the season. Your planting and harvest windows are short. For genuine Case IH parts and service, schedule an off-season uptime inspection at Titan Machinery today. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer.
Modal's Truck and Trailer Sales builds customized trailers to fit farmers' needs. Whether you're spraying, fertilizing, or planting, we build 28-foot 2-tank trailers all the way up to 48-foot 4-tank trailers and plenty in between, including field-ready drop decks, flatbeds, and enclosed reefer trailers. We have plenty of inventory ready to go at our Wheaton, Minnesota location, but if you don't see what you're looking for at modalsales.com, give us a call and we'll talk about building you the perfect trailer.
Ready for more? The new Fendt 900 Vario is impressive on every level. With groundbreaking features, you'll be ready for everyday challenges now and in the future. New smart connectivity solutions make the Fendt 900 series from Butler Machinery an intelligent choice for your farm. We're also proud to carry the Fendt Ideal, a new combine for a new era of farming. Designed to be automated in operation, the Ideal combine is already setting industry standards for efficiency and output. Visit butlermachinery.com to schedule a demo at your operation.
When you think about it, productivity starts at planting. So it's time to rethink how productive your planter can be. We did with the new Case IH 2000 Series Early Riser Planter. We rethought your row unit so it's tougher, more accurate. We rethought your meter took the most precise technology, factory installed it. We rethought every inch of the Case IH Early Riser planter to make it the most productive planter around. And if you think about it, that's exactly what you want.
Welcome back to AgweekTV. Interest in home gardening has been sprouting up everywhere this year. Minnesota's governor has declared garden centers essential businesses and can be open. They've been busy, and even mail-order seed companies are running low on supply. Some popular vegetable seeds are sold out. A horticulture professor in Rochester, Minnesota says this has been a difficult spring for her students, who now have to try to care for their plants at home rather than at the school's greenhouse. But she says gardening is especially important now as it provides therapeutic and psychological benefits.
And just getting outside, and actually the physical part of it, the gardening is also beneficial. And then there's also the side of it that we're seeing this comeback of the victory gardens.
She suggests beginners start small, and you don't need a yard to grow vegetables. There are some varieties that grow well in a pot. We've had some cooler, wetter weather in the region this week, but when will that change to allow the planting efforts to pick up? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
As has been the rule for most of this winter, now the springtime, as we burn our way through the month of April. Precipitation events in the Great Plains, the Northern Plains, the Upper Midwest. A lot of precipitation has come all at once, so we haven't had the string of storms. Just when storms happen, they've been quite prolific. Most recently, big rain snow system affecting the upper Midwest, places like Iowa, southern Minnesota. A lot of this has been affected by and even tied to this deep cold snap through the north central part of the United States, and that is gradually beginning to wane. We're not going to see a great deal of warming except in a few spurts, but it is going generally from a cold pattern to a cool pattern with just a few warm days. Now let's take a look at the overall jet stream pattern. Split flow with the northern jet definitely the most predominant part. In fact, it's this trough of low pressure in the upper atmosphere that has been responsible for the cold weather in the middle for the last week or so. That's now beginning to gradually shift eastward, and as it does so, there will be some surges of pretty warm air moving up into the Great Plains. And by warm air, I mean temperatures ranging from around 70 to up into around 80 degrees. The hot stuff is where it's really hot, the bright red. We're not going to see a lot of that except down in Texas. But it will be fairly warm for a while as the chilly weather rolls on to the east. Now, as we get toward the end of the week, there's going to be a little bit of a flattening of things and probably a revisitation of some cooler weather into much of the north and the Great Lakes area. Not as cold as we've been experiencing, but it will cool down a bit for the weekend. And then as we move ahead into the last week of April and the start of May, things will start retreating once again, and that warm air will surge north. I don't see a lot of really warm weather, though, into North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. There'll be a warm day here and there, but it'll be sort of on the cusp of being warm, like about 70 degrees. I don't think we're going to see a lot of the really hot stuff coming north. And the Great Lakes area in the northeast will remain fairly cool as this trough of low pressure will take up residence there. And with that in mind, the wettest part of the country is going to be the south central and the southeast, from Kansas and Oklahoma east to the southeastern states. This week, not very wet at all north of about Iowa. The second week of the period, there will be a few stray showers, I think, getting back into the northern plains, less and less as you look west across the high plains. The real focus of rain will continue to be the southeastern states with some showers up the middle Atlantic. Snow will mostly be confined to the Rockies for the time being, and overall the pattern in the Great Plains up and down, with the exception of about Kansas south the next week or so, will be generally fairly dry. So for this part of the country, the overall pattern as April moves in is it'll be not that wet, a little bit cooler than average with a few warm days sprinkled here and there.
2020 has started off where 2019 left off, with a lot of uncertainty and concern. Is your farming operation ready to take the volatility this year has to offer? Do you have a marketing plan in place to take advantage of opportunity? Are you finding it hard to separate the noise from the news? Talk to the professionals at Martinson Ag. We can help you make sound risk management decisions that will help your operation survive during these unusual times.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
When planting season comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. This spring, keep your planters rolling with a user-friendly seed tender from North Star Ag. We have seed tenders for every size operation from Meridian, Unverferth, and J&M. North Star Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used inventory or give us a call.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Dig, lay, and bury drain tile all in one pass with the Crary Tile Pro Plow. The Crary Tile Pro Plow lays tile up to 7 feet deep with boot sizes of 4 to 12 inches. Advantages of installing drain tile to your field provides increased overall yield, improved soil moisture levels, and controls soil erosion. It pays to tile with a Crary Tile Pro. To locate a dealer near you, visit www.crarytilepro.com.
A Minnesota-based home food delivery company is working to keep up with increased demand from homebound customers while still keeping them and their employees safe. The Schwann family had a dairy farm at Marshall, Minnesota, and started delivering ice cream to farmers in western Minnesota 68 years ago. The company has grown to sell frozen foods from its traditional yellow delivery trucks, as well as in grocery stores and in the food service industry. Like other home food delivery options, people are finding Schwann services more valuable right now. The company says safety is paramount for customers and delivery drivers.
We are adhering to safety guidelines. We're also trying to be ahead of the game in certain safety guidelines as well. We are just trying to keep our employees as well as our communities safe and fed during this time.
Among the new safety measures, Schwann's is using no-contact delivery. Drivers are not handing customers catalogs right now, and they are no longer accepting cash. The North Dakota Farmers Union owns 7 restaurants on the East Coast, most in the D.C. area, and like most others, they're struggling through the shutdown. Before the pandemic, Farmers Restaurant Group locations were serving about 50,000 meals a week while educating diners about where their food comes from and the importance of family farms. NDFU President Mark Watney says so far they haven't had trouble with the supply chain, but that's mainly because demand is down so much. They had 1,200 employees, but have had to let 1,100 go.
The good news, though, is with the remaining ones, we're able to do curbside pickup and delivery, and we're actually selling basic staple type groceries or meal packs.
Watney says they're also making and selling hand sanitizer at one of their distilleries. He thinks the restaurants will survive, but they've had to table plans for 2 more restaurants in the D.C. area until the pandemic is over. Still ahead on AgweekTV.
Michelle, I'm here outside of my uncle's calving barn, and I'll take you inside where my daughter teaches me to bottle feed a calf.
AgWeek brings you timely agriculture news from field to fork in digital, print, and television. Fresh every week, join Jenny Schlecht from the AgWeek editorial team and me, Al Windmill, from the sales and marketing team for a deeper dive into farm and ranch stories, along with guest interviews with personalities from the world of agriculture. If you're involved in farming, ranching, or agribusiness, the AgWeek podcast is the show for you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Spring is calving time for many in the region. AgWeek publisher Katie Pinky's family is sheltering at her family's farm, and so her daughter is using that time to help with and learn more about cattle production. Katie gives us an inside look.
We have to go get another nipple because this one's chewed off by the dog.
Well, my children haven't been raised on the farm. We're now back at the farm, and my youngest daughter, Annika, has a great interest in learning about beef cattle. My uncle is teaching her, and now she's taking me inside the calving barn to show me how she's learning to bottle feed a calf.
Come here, Cappy. His name is Carson, and it's a Hereford.
Why is it named Carson?
Because there's twins. This one's name is Carson, that one's name is Wentz.
Is Wentz going to get a bottle also?
No, Wentz gets milk from its mom.
So why does Carson get a bottle?
Most of the time with twins, the mom takes one twin and either the twin gets matched up with another cow or is bottle fed. So Carson's a bottle calf.
In this time of social distancing, we have more time for experiences. One thing that we're planning on doing is having Annika spend more time with my uncle and the beef cattle. What are you going to plan to do this summer?
I'm showing a heifer at the fair.
What is a heifer?
It's a calf, a female calf that hasn't had her baby yet.
How many bottles does Carson get?
1.
And how often?
Every day.
Twice a day?
No, just once.
In a time of uncertainty and unknowns, the future is bright in agriculture. As Annika shared with me, she wants to be a veterinarian.
Good job, buddy.
This is Katie Pinky for AgWeek.
Thanks for joining us here on AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Have yourself a great and safe week.